Dev Talk. Oh, this is not the Dev Talk show. This is Swami Streams. Got too many streams that I work with, and never too many. It's all good stuff. And right as I was going live, I dropped my headphones. And now I'm trying to figure out my sound is still coming through here, but okay, wait. Okay, that's good. So hang on a sec, because I gotta go pick up my headphone. One of my earbuds fell out of my ear. It's down on the floor somewhere. There it is. Got it. Look at that. How's that for professional, right? Right at the beginning. Earbud falls out. And, you know, life is good. Guy Creative, yo, how you doing? How are you today? Thanks for joining me. Nice to have you here. I think something is wrong on my Restream Chat, but how are you, Guy Creative? I am going to try to get a little bit of coding in here today. The first thing I noticed, though, is if I take a look at my desktop here, my screen, I was working on some rearranging my YouTube channel because some people were saying that it's hard to find things. So I decided to name these with new, like B1. It's the Blazor series. So B1, B2, B3. And now I noticed that my Restream Chat is still showing yesterday's chat. Just managing my chia farm. Yeah? Well, you'll have to hope that, I don't know how many chias make up a farm. I would think that would be quite a few. But I'm trying to figure out why this is still showing yesterday's chat. I think I have to like close this. Maybe I'm going to try. This is Restream Chat, which makes it possible to forward the chat from one stream to another when I do YouTube and Twitch. Now it looks better because it's clear. I'm going to type in a message in here. Let's try this. Hi. Let's just see if it comes through. Yeah, good. Okay. So now it should go through to reach. Okay, good. It's that new crypto Bram that wrote BitTorrent launched. It's that new crypto Bram that wrote BitTorrent launched. I got to be honest, I'm lost on that. I don't get that joke, or I think it's a joke or something. I don't know, but what do I know? Hey, what am I doing? I am going to work on my Blazor app. Really excited. Let's get Blazor app over in here. And a chia.net. Let's take a look at chia.net. I'm game. I'll click that link. I'm going to click it off screen. Chia Network. Okay. Let's bring that over here. What are we talking about here? Chia Network, a new block. So I got to be honest. When you said chia, I'm thinking Samir, power down, power up. Exactly. That does usually fix everything. When you said chia, I thought you were talking about chia pets, quite frankly. So that's funny to me. I think you're talking about a new blockchain and smart transaction platform that is easier to use, more efficient and secure. Guy Creative, that sounds pretty cool. I don't know much about blockchain. And this kind of stuff. I don't know much about blockchain, but it sounds like it's one of those like cool things that one of these days I'm going to put some time into. I think we're going to have a show about that soon on the Dev Talk show. That would probably be a good idea. Because we have people that are comfortable with that and that know about it. It's blowing up. It's big, huh? I guess it's... I thought blockchain was going to blow up like a while ago, and it seemed like it didn't really blow up. And then maybe it's blowing up now, or maybe this Chia network makes it better. It's cool though. I don't know. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, so I don't have a lot to say. And we're not going to be talking about Chia network today on my stream. If you're here watching, I'm just chatting with people that are here with me and willing to take a look at new things and learn and hear about what's kind of new and what's important and what's exciting in technology is always good to me. February 9th business white paper. I'm just interested here. I'm going to move this over to, I'll tell you what I need to do. Yeah, let's learn Blazor. Thanks, Guy Creative. I use OneNote for a lot of stuff, but I want like a reading list in here. I'm sure there's a plugin for like Edge that's like not a favorites, but like a reading list. You know what I can do? What if I have all these favorites in here, but what if I create a thing called like reading list? Where did that go? Reading list. That's at the favorites bar. I don't know. Like things I want to come back to. And then if I do that, I'm going to put this in a reading list because I'd like to come back and read that and check that out. So hopefully I gotta work that out. A collection is what you want. Samir, let's trailblaze. Let's trailblaze. And a collection is what I want. Maybe it's funny how like, this is what's great about doing these things is like community-based stuff is, working with other people is that everybody's got like different ways of doing stuff. Everybody knows more than the other person, right? We all share information. So I'll have to figure out how to do that. Anyway, Blazor. So yesterday on the show, and just to give you guys a heads up, in case you're interested in hanging out with me for a while, I'm good till about 12:45 Eastern time today. Got a meeting that I definitely can't be late for today at work. So I'm going to be doing this for about an hour. And yesterday, the sort of epiphany, epiphany is not really the right word, but yesterday, what I was reminding myself about is that Blazor, from a UI perspective, it really just plays along with HTML and CSS and that kind of stuff. And it's really not that hard to style this stuff. Now, the hard part for me is, of course, I have to remember how to use CSS. I have to remember to use HTML. Like, I'm kind of rusty with a lot of this stuff because I kind of live in the architecture world these days, and software architecture, and I spend a lot of time on that kind of stuff and don't get to write as much code. And so I had to remind myself, and some people were helping me yesterday, remembering like, oh, you need div class row. I'm using Bootstrap here to try to lay this page out a little better. And so I'm gonna take a shot at like just fixing this up really quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time because the design of this thing is not the most important part. But again, what's cool to me is that I can put these classes, like Blazor is HTML at the end of the day, right? So I'm going to put this oh no, that's not right. That doesn't go there. I'm going to turn this into a label. And I'll say class form label. And my goal is just to get this a little better and not a lot better. This one gets the class equals form label. I never know where to put things. Do you guys struggle with, this is like everyday decisions that are like hard. But I got this thing, ID goes first, right? I always think ID goes first. Now I have bind value, I may have other attributes, and somewhere I got to put my class. I tend to put classes at the beginning a lot of times, but I don't know. It's, again, it's like some of these like little subtle decisions that can really have an impact and sometimes make things easier to work with or harder to work with. And maybe you might hear that and go, oh God, Andy, like who cares? But my goal, like for writing code and my goal for my teams is like to make it easier. Like, and often making these decisions about like what order to put some of these things in here actually pays off. It can actually make things easier for a team to get things done because they're like, okay, we're all putting these things in the same order and we're doing that maybe for a reason. Like maybe there's value in putting these in the right order. Like, when you look at a screen real estate, and some people would say, oh, you could align these differently. You could do like this kind of stuff and wrap properties down. And that's a good way to do it. But that takes up screen real estate and you get some personal preferences on this kind of stuff. Whatever. So now I got to remember how to style the button. The button is inside the form, right? And I have this error message, which doesn't do a whole lot either. And so what do I do with that button? I have a hard time keeping track of what I've done in my project. Can't imagine trying to keep track of what other people do. God, yeah, I try not to keep track of what other people do. The whole point is that if we all do things similarly, there was a comment earlier from Samir about we are the Borg, right? Well, maybe I'm taking that to the next level with the Borg. I don't, as a leader in a department, I don't want to like inflict havoc upon the developers and say everything has to be the same way. But if we agree upon certain things, it does make it easier, right? So that when someone else comes to look at this code, things are in a way that's familiar to them, right? And it just feels more comfortable. It's kind of hard getting everybody on the same page because people have different opinions and things like that. But, you know, that's kind of what I'm talking about there. Now, I want to see if I have that tab open from yesterday. Got a bunch of tabs. I don't think I do. Let me close all those. And this is that Chia network. I want to go back to like Blazor, Bootstrap, Form. I had like a pretty good example up there. And maybe it's not even Blazor is not the important part. Maybe it's just like, how did I do that? Blazor, Form, layout. Should have bookmarked it. Yeah, so Samir has a comment here. And again, I don't have featured chat wired up. It's on my to-do list. Samir says, I always tell my teams that our code should be standardized enough that jumping between components feels fluent. Yeah, I agree with that. And I would also say sort of like jumping between teams sometimes feels fluent too, right? It's kind of helpful. It depends on where you work. If you have multiple teams or single teams and things like that. But you know, I want it to be easy for developers to jump in and help each other, to do code reviews, to do all these kind of things, right? And bits of standardization really help out with that. You know what? You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think Blazor had anything to do with this. I think I went to getbootstrap.com, one of my, you know, good old favorite sites, and I went to forums. And now that I think about it, this is how I was doing it. And I just want to remember what goes on the button. Somewhere there's a button here. Input type. Pass. Oh, no, that's not the button. Where's the button? Button, submit. Oh, yeah, right. Primary. I remember this stuff. I remember this. So I can do like this. Now, again, someone said yesterday that this MB3 was margin bottom 3, and I don't understand why that doesn't seem like important enough right now. Samir says, jumping between teams and onboarding new devs becomes super easy with standards and automation. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? And as a leader in a department, this is the kind of, like, it sort of falls on me and others to think about those things. Teams are busy focused on their teamwork, right? And certain things and standardization from a certain perspective. But yeah, when you think about the big picture, I think that standards becomes kind of important. Standards is a tricky topic because a lot of people don't want someone else to enforce their standards on them, you know, or you know, like that kind of thing. I try to have standards that really just work towards a certain goal, right? Which is this whole idea, you know, like I don't care if a developer, you know, just while we're talking here, I'll just pseudocode something here, but like, can I do that? What do I have to do here? I have to do like, whatever. It doesn't matter what the comment here. You know, some people say you got to say var x equals something. Other people say no, you should never use a var. You should use string x equals something. I don't take the standard that far. You know, I think we can all read either one of these, and you know, whatever. What I'd be more concerned about a standard on this level is not using the letter x and using a meaningful variable, right? Like you know, first name or something like that. And that, I believe, falls into standards. I have more standards about architecture, about laying out applications, right? Like where things go and folders, and architecture and using certain patterns than I do over like maybe lines of code. But again, personal preference a little bit. So I put some stuff in here. Let's just see if there's anything interesting that I think I should also be. I was kind of looking in here for like the full sample, but this page didn't have like a great full sample. Thank you, Samir. I appreciate your agreeing. And one of the reasons I really like platforms like this and platforms like the Dev Talk Show where we talk about a lot of these kind of things is that like I like to know that I'm not just crazy and out there, and hearing that people agree is a really good way to make sure that we're on the right track. It's really easy to sit in an ivory tower and make decisions and all that kind of stuff. Layout, is this what I want? Form grid. Oh, that's right. You can do these different types of form. No, this is kind of nice. Oh, I'm so glad, Samir, that yeah, I'm with you. Like we're all on the same page. I think we care about how we do things. Yeah, so this has these classes on the divs. This has more divs in here. Row. There's a big form with a row. And then there's divs inside of these things. And I think I need to maybe get back to something like that. But in the meantime, let's see if this thing looks even close to what it's supposed to be. And yeah, this isn't the super technical show today, I guess, because I'm just doing a little. I'm going to switch over, I think in a little bit, I'm going to switch over to maybe working on some server-side code and some layout and some architecture or that kind of stuff. But let's see if it's... So, yeah, obviously there's some problems and there's something funky happening here. But this is like already like better than it was beforehand. I'm going to spend like a couple more minutes on this, I think, and then get into some coding. Let's see if I can like figure out why. Well, the button is not in the div. This is a div. So I think what I want, we have row. Well, okay, that's why, because these don't have rows. So I don't know if they even need to be rows. Maybe they don't all need to be, because the div is going to automatically break it. So maybe the form is a row and the section is a div. That kind of makes sense to me. Maybe I have too many rows in here. So like if I make this a row, okay, and then let's just do what is it? Call. Again, I'm really rusty with this stuff. Let's do this like call-md6. It's like just for starters. Okay, and I'm going to put that on each of these. Get rid of, oh, let's just do it like that. And that, and that one. And then the button, should that be in a div too? Maybe that'll help line it up a little bit. I'm not sure. But I don't think it'll hurt. And so now we've got a little bit of that going on. Guy Creative says, I need to figure out how to handle data in Blazor. I use grid views everywhere. So, well, I haven't gotten into like that part of thing here yet, but we would use a table, a grid view. Now, when you say grid view, it takes me back to like web forms, and that might be what you're talking about, where there's like this control that's a grid view. I would most likely just have a loop and a table, an HTML table and things like that. Yeah, that is what you're talking about. So I think you'll find, and we'll be doing some of this, probably not today, but it can be really pretty easy with the basics of HTML. And with Blazor, I can loop in some code and say for each row in the table, and like loop through it. And that would be what I would probably be doing. One thing is there's this alert. Maybe I want to put this into the table here. Would that be cool? Not the table, into the form. Might help line it up a little bit. And then we've got this error message, and that's got nothing going on here. So I'm going to say div class. This is what I remember of Bootstrap, right? I'm not an expert here, but I remember there's like alert. And you say like alert danger. And I think that will make it like a little warning thing. Miguel RM asks a question. Hello, Andy. Hello. Silly question. Those components like input select are rendered in the browser as normal HTML. Select. And Blazor binds the events at client side. And that's a question, but that's, I think I would say, correct. Yes. Well, let's flip over and look at that. I never tried Blazor before, honestly. I am not an expert in Blazor. Let's just be really clear right up front that I've done like Hello World. I've seen a couple demos. I've been to other streams. You know, like I know some stuff enough to be dangerous. Now I'm trying to really learn it. And so, yeah, we can see things like in here, I have input select. This is a Blazor server component. Yeah, it's a component, right? But if I take a look at this, and there's label here, which is, you know, this is HTML stuff mixed in with like some Blazor helper stuff or some Razor helper stuff. And if we take a look at this, we can actually look at the, you know, what happens after the case. Oh gosh, am I talking fast? I need to get into like the chill out mode. I want to get a button. Oh, Andy, you broke it. This looks, you know, somewhat uglier. So I probably have some divs or something that's not getting, but we can fix this. Yeah, so let's take a look. Because Miguel RM was asking like what happens here. And so, you know, if I just like pick something here, here's my select. Let's go to a select, right? And if I go to that, am I on the right one here? So yeah, it's just a select. It's just HTML, right? And in here are options, right? What's kind of interesting here is the combination of things. Now, maybe I didn't do this right, you know, full disclosure, but I used an input select, but inside it, I used option, right? So the input select, I'm not even sure why I don't just use a select, okay? Except that maybe this stuff is where it helps. Like maybe since I say input select, and I shouldn't be doing this while I'm debugging because that's probably gonna, but I wonder if the component, like why am I using a component? This is a question for all of us, right? For me, for you, trying to figure it out. What would be better is using the component, or what if I just use the select? I'm actually thinking about trying it right now. One of the things I want to try to do on this thing is just try things, like figure out what works. I'm here to learn at the same time. But first I want to think about this. So this layout is terrible. This didn't work right, the alert. And then I don't have breaks around the right things. And there's this funny thing. Oh, that's because I'm not hiding it when there's no error. If I hit submit, oh, that was something different, right? This won't work. So this is going to be, if I choose A, okay, this is really ugly right now, but bear along. If you weren't here in the past, if I put some of this data in here and I say yes, if I say team A, that the server knows to pretend that's an error and team B will not be. So if I hit submit, oh, I didn't wire, oh, I'm not debugging on the server. Anyway, an error message will show up in here and I didn't hide it and it's failing because of some other, okay. I'm going fast here. So first let's look at div class. So why didn't that wrap? It's a div. Oh, I didn't do alert. Alert info is what I think I need there. Let's see if I'm right. Then we have a div column mid. Oh, because they don't wrap. Because that's the way these columns work, right? I took away row and I only made it. Yeah. So these two rows, a 6 and a 6 might try to turn into a 12 with Bootstrap, right? So I think I can do like call MD6. I'm just going to say the whole thing is locked at a 6, in which case maybe I don't even need this. So let's see if that helps. I'm not going to worry about the alert danger, the fact that this isn't hidden, right? This needs to get hidden later. But I think this might work a little better. And then, oh, before I do, let's goof around here. Let's change this into a select. Now, as soon as I did that, this bind attribute doesn't seem to be working, right? So while this is a select, I guess because I want to do Blazor or Razor-y kind of stuff in here, the input select is what probably wires that up, because this has a squiggle, and so I can assume that that's just not going to work right. And now it should, right? Now, on the other hand, if I wanted to take that out and just make it a select, and I didn't have this in here, right? If I wasn't doing data binding, my guess is that that should work, although it doesn't seem to. At directive for this namespace, select. That's because I'm just being dumb about something, right? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, because it's uppercase. Oh, there you go. Simple case select. I think that's the problem right there. So I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. And if you're just joining me and you want to say hi, feel free to say hi. You want to lurk, that's cool. I'm trying to stream every day around the noon Eastern time. Sometimes starting around 11:30. Between 11:30 and noon, I get started. And I'm going to try to go till about 1, maybe 1:30. Today, I have a hard stop at 1 o'clock. So actually a little bit before that. And so we're coding, we're playing around, and we're learning about Blazor together. So let's go back. So this would work, but of course it's not going to bind. I know that that's not going to bind because there's no binding on that. Now wait. What if I put this at... Okay, the problem was it was a select. Can I do this? Bind dash value. Oh, I can't type. Let's see if this starts to work. See, this isn't working, right? It's not buying into the what I need it to buy into, right? As a developer. Like maybe there's another way to make it work. But if I change this to input select, give it a second to that's interesting. Why should work? That's what I had before. Maybe because the attribute wasn't on there. Like, what's the error? Type of component input select cannot be inferred based on values provided. Oh, well, okay. So it's probably just upset because I didn't do this next step here. Let's just find out if that fixes it. Right? At bind value. Okay, and now if I say feedback, see now I'm getting the IntelliSense. Now it's like in its happy place. I'm going to say things went better. This is my data. Don't worry about that. Anyone know if there's a story behind the Blazor name? There is a story behind the Blazor name. And I believe... Well, obviously there's a tie into Razor, right? Razor, I think it was like Web Razor. No, not Web. Couldn't be Web. Well, because that would be what Razor already is, Web. There was a name. I don't remember it. Okay. So let's see if my layout looks better. And we learned a little bit about like the difference between a select and an input select, right? And how binary Razor. Yeah, it could be something like that, right? Because it's like I don't recall. I bet we could Google it and find out. Well, oh, my layout is still pretty bad. Blazingly fast. Yeah. There was a whole bunch of that in the naming thing. Wow, why did that work out so poorly? So, I don't remember how to do this stuff. Well, this one div class doesn't have... Okay, so this one doesn't have a size on it, the first one, right? So my alert, so this is wrapping this after the alert. That's the way these things work. And now this end of the sprint isn't picking up on that either. So call mid 6. Oh, I know why. I think I remember why now. So I think they changed some stuff about, or maybe I'm remembering it wrong. So because I'm in a row, and this is a Bootstrap thing, and if people remember Bootstrap, you can jump in here. I've defined the row. Let's see, did I keep that open here? I've defined the row here as a 6, and a 6 is just a breakdown. It goes up to 12, so 6 is half of the page. And you can see it's about half of the page, right? But then inside that, I put something that's a column 6 as well. And so that becomes half of the container that it was in, I believe. So if I'm not mistaken, what I really want to do is either not put these on here or say it's a 12. And if I say it's a 12, it should go to the full size. I'm going to try both of those. Okay. So let's just say call MD 12 on this one. So this alert should now take the full page. And on this one, I'm just going to remove it and see if it also fills the page, fills the halfway mark, something like that. And again, this isn't exactly Blazor stuff, but it all fits into this ecosystem that if we're building a Blazor app, we got to know how to do some of this stuff. You don't have to know how to use Bootstrap, but it's a popular framework. So let's just run that again and see what happens here. La 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 la. La 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 la. So look at that. Okay, so this worked with the 12, but by not putting it on here, interesting. Wait. This is the, where did I put the label? See, I have a bit terrible memory. So I removed the class from this whole section. Okay, so there's a section that should have the label and the input select. And what did it look like? You know, you guys know I'm winging it here. Let's just make this, oh, that's going to screw it up if I go. So this got big, but then these stayed at 6s. I think this kind of worked somewhat correctly. So instead of me like just keep guessing here, I'm gonna move on and just like fix it, right? So I'm gonna say that I want to have this label. So if I say, I put this on here, I'm going to do different things with both of these because they're both should be about the same size. So which team are you providing feedback for? What about nesting your divs? Well, certainly I can nest divs. I could do that. I think what I kind of wanted, although now that I think about it, was for these to be inline, like, you know, label and select, label and select. And there's probably a different thing I'm supposed to do to make that happen. If I go back to my, if I go back to my thing here, like, here's an example of some layout stuff. I shouldn't cover my mouth while I talk. Horizontal form is probably more what I want, right? And so in this case, his form, I thought you had to put this attribute on there called like form horizontal or something like that. But they're not really doing that. They're just saying make it small. This is a column small 2. That's probably this word email. Yeah, email. And these will automatically, you know, like sort of, they want to work in columns. They want to be next to each other unless you put something that's going to sort of help them break. And that's kind of the cool part about these responsive frameworks, right? That they're going to respond and they're going to line themselves up. But if I make the UI smaller, they're going to get smaller. And I'm probably not doing a great job of explaining that. So, so what I really want to do, if I really want to be serious, is let's just put a size on this. So I'm going to say form label, column, medium, 4. Let's try 4 on that. And then this input select should take up the rest of the space, I think. It looks like you have to group them under a div, so the div becomes a group. Right? Full disclosure, I am terrible at Bootstrap. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Samir, for trying to help. Well, they are nested under this div. This is a div, essentially, right, with a row. And this is a div, and these are nested in this div. But now I went full screen with this, and I don't really want it to be so wide. Oh, no, but I want it to be, yeah, I want it to be into this. Let's see if this works. I'm just going to kind of go for it. Let's just change these to 12. And then I'm going to put this like MD4, MD4 on the label, a little space in there. And then I'm going to change this to a 12. And I'm going to say MD4. This might not even be big enough. This might be a problem because that's kind of long text, but we're going to find out. And then I'm going to make this a 12. And I'm either doing this right or I'm doing this wrong. We're going to find out soon enough. No, I don't know if that matters. Let's see what happens. I've given up on trying to like, I want to name these streams and, you know, say when I go live, what I'm going to be working on. And I find that I never do the thing I think I'm going to be doing. Like I thought I was going to maybe doing more server side stuff, and I'm not. Oh, look. So this worked, except that I made these, the sizing is wrong. So this is way too small. Guy Creative's mastered doing things the wrong way. It's a skill. You got to embrace it. So maybe I'm wrong about this, because this is, let's just see what I got for the provide feedback for the team. So this whole thing is in a 6. Maybe I'm mixing Bootstrap up with a different framework. You can see that I've constricted this page to be this wide, right? And then I've said that the alert is 12, so that's going to go across the whole thing. Or is it? Because this was also a 12 with a 4. Maybe because I didn't put like an 8 on this thing, but this is not enough space anyway. Oh gosh. Let's see if it changes as I go. Oh, wait, see that? That's what a responsive UI does. It changes things when I'm in. This is probably before small. So I'm going to focus on this first, right? Look at the difference there, the responsive nature. Yeah, what does it look like when using DevTools? Sure, we can look at that, and we can see like what's going on here. And so, you know, it shows it as I defined it here. But you know, I don't know enough about CSS and all that stuff to know how like the grid frameworks and that kind of stuff works. Like I'm really not good at that. But what I can see here is that this is filling the amount of space, the whole thing, and I don't want it to do that, right? And the fact that it's indented a little bit, that's because I think it's a column or something like that. Can't swap screens in Twitch. I'm only sharing this screen right now. I could do, I mean, there's other things. Like, I'm not sure what you mean by swapping screens. Edit the column right there. Oh, yeah, I could edit the column and see right how it renders. Yeah. I don't know what'll happen from like a perspective. Oh, this would be a great idea, though. Can I just change this to be like a 12? Nice thinking. So if I go higher, let's look at this. So I might have been wrong when I said, here's the form. Yeah, so I had the form, I think, and I constricted it to be 6. Like that is the size, half the area that it has, half this area from here to here. And then we go to the next thing. So here's our form, and then I have this div, and this is a 12. Okay, now let's just see if I change this to a 6. I want to see what happens. I want to see if I'm right about this. Yes. So in other words, it's taking half of its parent size, right? So that's okay. 6 isn't bad. Now, what I don't have is the ability to, we used to be able to do this. I used to be like, what was that? With MVC, you could like save your changes in this browser tools and it would like update your UI. And I don't think, I don't think that kind of stuff works anymore. Oh, Guy says have a viewer share his screen. That would be awesome, right? I would love to be able to do stuff like that. And there are ways, but you have to do it like, I have to have like it's complicated. So now I've got this 4, which is really too small for this amount of text. And so if we play with this though, we'll be able to remember what happens afterwards. So this is a 12, okay? And what I really want to do is make this like an 8, because the label is probably bigger than what the text is going to be. This is the thing that I didn't put a class on. So I should be able to go class equals, oh no, I'm sorry, I have class over here. Form, and valid gets added by the thing because that's a whole other thing. But I'm going to say call MD. So what did I do? I used 8 before, so I can use a 4 here. Okay, now it didn't wrap. So this 8 and this 4 should be on the same row. Now, is that because I'm doing this like live on the fly and it won't do that? I don't know. It's wrapping div. So class says form group. Stack Overflow says form group. Oh, yeah, I remember form group. Is that in this thing too? I had this little sample out here, and thank you. So this sample just shows like form, but again, there's different kinds of layouts. Form group is what you put the two things on this row here, I think. And hey, Samir, if you want to paste in the link you saw, that's fine too. I'll pop it open here. Because they're doing things a little differently in this one. This one shows it like as a row. I don't know what G3 means though. I gotta be honest. Like, oh yeah. Div. Oh, here's another one. Column. Well. Oh, here we go. I'll take that too. Form class, form inline. Well, see, that's what I know. A form inline is a little different. I think form inline is when you want your button, like you want everything to be in a line. And mine is like a hybrid. Like they're sort of inline and they're sort of not inline. So this is a horizontal form. This is kind of what I'm doing. Inline, let's just see, we see inline here. Inline forms is like this, right? So I don't want to fall too far into that path, Samir. But you know, it's interesting. So what I was hoping for was a layout that looked like a little bit more like this, like a horizontal form, like label, value, and then button at the bottom. So I have class row, I have a label, I have a div. I have a form, I have a div, a label which has a size on it. Now I don't oh, what's this? Column form label. Okay, that's a new one. I don't remember ever seeing that. I wonder if that's new. I'll click your link just to take a peek and see. This might be, this is a little different, I think. Because the button, the inline is like much more inline than I think what I'm trying to do. And sorry, I'm not trying to be like dismissive of your idea, you know, like but I think it's not what I want. Hey Darren Evans, how are you? Thanks for coming back today. We're playing around with, you know, it's Blazor. I want to say I'm doing like Blazor layout, but at the end of the day, right now we're doing some Bootstrap stuff because I'm just going to copy this, you know, because Bootstrap is the framework, you know, that we're working with in the Blazor stuff. And so, and it might have even been you, Darren Evans. I don't remember. Someone yesterday on the stream reminded me that Bootstrap was like in the box, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot it was in there. So that was kind of cool. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to paste this snippet in there so we can kind of copy it. So, so they're using div class row. That's what I'm not doing right. Because I want these to be inline, I need to say this is a row. So this is going to be row, and I'm not going to worry about the MB3 because we're doing it with, we're setting it here. I think that's going to be fine. And I have a label class. They're doing smaller than what I want to do. Now I have form label, and they have column form label, and maybe that's important. I don't know. You know, I really appreciate you guys coming back. Some of you guys came in on this raid yesterday from Fritz, and that was totally cool. And I appreciate you guys coming back to hang out with me, learning Blazor. Column form label, I'm going to leave this as 4 because the text is bigger. And then they have this 10 on this thing. So they're doing 2 and 10. I'm going to do 4 and 8. And so I want to, and we played with this on the screen, on the browser tools. Form row. Well, Samir says form group row. And the sample that I just took it from just had the word row. So let's just hang on and see if this works. And then you can be able to laugh at me and say, I was right. I told you so, Swami. You didn't listen to me. So let me just think here. Class, that's the same. And then the input. Well, they have the input in another. Oh, see, this is what I don't have. I remember this from before. I remember this. I need to put the input in a div. That's what I'm missing. And for some reason, these selects or these controls want to take up all the space that they can. I remember this from my Bootstrap days of yesteryear. How do you like that? Yesteryear. Now I'm going to make this an 8. And I think this. No, Samir, you're not interrupting train of thought at all. We're having fun. This is cool. All right, so let's get rid of this. Did I get everything from here? Form control. I got the form control. I have the wrapper div. This is a missing piece. I know I need that more. Should I just fix them all or should I run it? I don't know. Let's put row on all these. I can't believe I'm like spending all this time on this. I need another div in here. I wish there's probably a way to do like a surround with, but I always forget how to do that. Let's put this. Okay, so we got that. So we got a row, we've got a label. Now I don't have this col form label. I wonder if that's kind of a helper that says, you know, we're treating it like it's its own column. I'm just kind of guessing that that's what that means. And then, oh, I need to put class this in here. Okay. What did I do to make it mad? Div. Oh, this thing, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So why don't I just do like this first around all these things. Okay. And I'll put another div in here. Why can't it just know that I want to do these things? Wouldn't that be great? Okay, so I got that. So I got those divs in there. Now, this one's still barking at me. Somehow I don't have this on there, I guess. Okay, so I still need to go in and change these form labels to this. I'll form label. I'm really watching the clock because I have a hard stop today at 12:45 Eastern time for me. That's about 20 more minutes. Did I get all of them? So I did this col form label, and then they're all column medium 4, so that looks good. I've got the wrapper div. I've got the row. Oh, the row. I didn't put row on this one. Row. And maybe I don't even need these column sizes on here. You know, but what do I know? This one I haven't even fixed the button yet, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But let's run this. Let's see if we're getting close. You know, if people want to share like what kind of things they're working on these days, I'm kind of curious to know. Like earlier we were talking about block, you know, Chia block or whatever that was called, and if anyone's working on anything interesting, you know, feel free to share. And oh, look at that. Oh! Obviously, I screwed up something in the HTML, but this is kind of what I'm going for here, right? Forgetting about this pink thing at the bottom here. Didn't give it enough space here, but I would probably take this as like a, like I'll fix this column thing here, but I would probably say this is good enough for now. VS has a wrap selection feature. Yeah, I know they have that, Darren Evans, right? And for doing that, what I'm saying is I know they have it, and I don't remember what it is. So Shift-Alt-W on your selection. Let's try that. Man, hooking me up. Wait. First, I got to fix the chaos. By the way, if you're new to my stream, when my starting up thing happens, the graphics, it says Shwami Streams, coding, fun, and a little bit of chaos is the sort of my tagline. There's always a lot of chaos because I don't know what I'm doing. So it's this after the date is where, or maybe it's part of this thing, I don't know, but somewhere over there there's a class column small 8 small. I don't even remember using small 8. Let's see. Oh, this. Oh, I used small 8. Oh, I must have copied that from something else up above. That's small 8. And I really wanted these to be MDs anyway. Let's just be consistent with that. And so MD. Okay, I think I got that. So somewhere after the date, right? Oh, yeah, right here. Look at that. I must have pasted something in just bizarrely when I pasted something. Line 36. Thank you, Samir. I don't know how much the delay here is. but I don't know how bad the delay is. It doesn't look that bad. I'm looking at the, oh, okay, so let's see, wait, I'm looking at my screen here. So if I touch my face now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it shows up on Twitch. So there's about a 5-second delay, which isn't terrible, but it makes interaction a little weird sometimes, doesn't it? And I'm going to try to fix that because I've seen there's some hacks where I can get the Twitch timing a little closer. I don't know about YouTube because I cross stream, but I think that we can do that. So anyway, let's just take a quick look. This should be, I wanted to try that. Yeah, look at that. Much better, right? Like kind of good enough. And if this is meant to, this error message I have to hide. Oh, this will be good. Let's do that. So, because it should be easy for me to say this div here, only show it when the error message has a value, right? This should not be difficult at all between maybe there's some kind of razor helper, or I can always just wrap this in an if. I mean, I can even wrap it in like if at, I don't need that. If error message, like that might even work right there, quite frankly. However, I don't know if there's like a better way. It doesn't automatically, it won't just like, maybe I'm thinking of JavaScript there. I might have slipped into my JavaScript brain there thinking I could just say if error message. I could say something like if string is null or, something like that. So this would probably work, but I would like to know if there's something more like fancy that works in there. NASA engineers are scoffing at my 5-second delay. Yeah. When I was watching the launch of the recent, Mars rover, whatever it's called, I forget. Oh my God! As a developer, like thinking about this thing where like they can send a command. There's like a 7-minute delay. And then there's a 7-minute dead spot where they don't hear anything anyway. And so there's this one point where you have like 14 minutes worth of like sending a command to the rocket, and it can do things and all this kind of stuff. I was like, oh, these guys. But these guys are amazing. The men and women that work at these and build these things, like unbelievable. And think about the testing that goes on. I'm going to do unit testing on this. Let's be clear. There will be unit testing on this application, right? And I'll be doing that soon when I start writing more code. But I don't trust anything I do to be like, it's going to go to Mars, and like everything has to be bulletproof. It's so impressive. But what I wanted to do is find out, like, is there one of these things that I could just bind it? I'll bet there's something. And if anyone knows it, can I say, like, I wonder if this is just razor and not Blazor. So I'm going to say razor bind, hide visibility. Yeah, Blazor bind visibility. It's probably something like that. Well, this doesn't know what I'm this doesn't know because, okay. Look what I'm getting here. Norelco men's razors. Yeah, okay. I forgot about that. ASP.NET. I don't know. Visibility of a partial view. Binding tag. Core tag helper to show hide, right? I don't want to build it though. I want to just use it, and I'm thinking it's going to be there. Typo on bind. Typo on bind. Uh-oh. I don't know. Don't know what you mean by that. I wonder if I can see though, like if there's like a thing where I go bind dash and see like what else is available. How do I blind in search? Oh. Thank you. You're probably like screaming at your screen. What is he doing? Yeah, I did say blind. Oh God. And you're probably like, I'm telling you, it's a typo. It's a typo. Just change it. and there's a 5-second delay, and thank God it's not a 7-minute delay. Thank you. This is why like this mob programming or whatever like works. Because, if I was here by myself, I would have this blind in there the whole time. How to hide a div element depending on a model value. This is kind of close, but this is MVC. IDOM elements, Blazor. This might be it, actually. Well, they're doing this kind of like show. I mean, the way I did it actually should work. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Like maybe the way I did it is you smash your monitor up, Darren Evans. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Like maybe this is the way to do it, right? And I would use a little helper. This is a little verbose here, but this would probably work anyway. Let's see if this whole thing still works. I'm going to fire up. I'm going to fire this up. Let's see what happens. Because I'm having fun here. This is good. Baby steps. It's so hard to build an application an hour at a time. That is really my struggle. Like I want to really go faster with this, but okay, good. So oh, look at that. What is the exception that I'm getting there? Set attribute DOM failed. Set. Oh, did I leave that in there? Oh, come on, Andy. I was typing that. This. Oh God. Lame. So it's so hard to build an application like a little bit at a time. And so things got really busy at work lately. And this is work. That's the cool part about it. This is actually work. This counts. Oh, my idea didn't work. By the way, hot reload feature mentioned in .NET 6 preview. Yes, .NET 6 preview. Exactly. We were talking about that yesterday too. I'm running .NET 5 here. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. Like I should be able to just fix this. Oh, that didn't work. I have a question. Did I do that backwards? If null, well, yeah, sure. Because what did I do? I did it backwards. And this is where I'm upset with the rest of you guys. Not me. I didn't do this wrong. This is where you guys are supposed to tell me, no, Andy, you're supposed to warn me about this. I thought we were in this together. I'm not taking any blame here. Just, so, okay. So that is, simple error, right? Am I right about this? Thinking and talking and streaming, hard to do. If it is not null or white space, then I want to show this thing. Yes, thank you, Samir. Exactly. We succeed or fail together. So cool. Okay. So dumb error there. And just for kicks, I'm going to fire up my web API, which doesn't do a whole lot yet. Okay. And this will take me to Swagger. That's fine. Let's go back to so what's going to happen now? If I hit submit, I'm going to get the error. And I do need to put this differently. How does that look like up in here? So, there's a validation summary. Okay, this isn't a tag of its own. So I'm going to probably move that down below here. Let's do it. I think I can do it now. It won't work, but I think it'll just be there for later. So I kind of have that below. Okay, and I'm going to have to put some style on that a little bit. But it's doing what I want. And now I can choose a value, and it's binding. Really cool, right? It's binding these things, and I'll bind the date. Today, and I don't know, that looks like it's off a little bit, but let's just say yes or no. It doesn't matter what I put in these things. So the form is right. Now, my service that runs is going to say team A is unacceptable. Like that's just something I built into this thing. So if I hit submit, I should get an error down here. Oh, I got a breakpoint, and we come back. And look at that. So now my error shows. Okay, now if I choose team B, I should get a success. And that should navigate me back to the home page. Oh, yep, same thing there. Breakpoint. Okay, so like from a Blazory standpoint, this thing is doing what it needs to do right now. This is a small application. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. So I'm going to do a commit. And then I have to think about another hard part, which is like, what is my commit message, right? These are the things I struggle on. Like, this is the hard part. So what did I work on? So I really just updated feedback entry layout. Did some Bootstrap stuff. Like, it's kind of what I worked on in this commit. So let's commit that. I always wonder. I'll throw this out to you guys. If you use Visual Studio, like I'm using Visual Studio, you might use VS Code, and that's cool too. I'll try to switch over some days and use that. But what I find is it's really interesting. The people that use Visual Studio, some of them, like me, use the tooling built in for Git, right? Like, I'm just going to go in here and commit this. But some people that use Visual Studio still keep a command line open, right? And they do their Git commits and all that kind of stuff in command line. There's no right or wrong. It's just preference. And I wonder what people do. I always just wonder, like, I'm a curious person. Do you guys use the command line or the tools that are built in? So I have a hard stop at 12:45, and I'll also show you this. So this is my lunch. Let's see, is that up on screen yet? That should be high. Yeah, this is my lunch, which I actually didn't really get to eat because I was so excited to get the stream going. So I think I'm probably gonna wrap it up right now. But let me just jump. Samira B says, I used to use the VS tooling, then switched to command line once I got more comfortable. And I see a lot of people doing that. And again, there's no right or wrong, but it's just interesting, to see different ways that people work. So, so if you want to take a look at this, I'll just throw out a little reminder here. I just checked this code in, and it is here on GitHub, in case you want to see it. And I can post. Ram, Ram's late. Did you just join in like as I was saying? I guess I'm gonna wrap it up here. Yeah, I gotta call it a little short today because I have a work meeting at 1 o'clock. That's like an important work meeting that just can't get around. I usually can control my calendar pretty well. But not always, right? And so, not today. So I'm going to try to do this again. Well, let's see. Today is Friday. So let me just take a quick look at my calendar in case anyone cares. For next week, I've got my work calendar over here. Next week, yeah, I'll definitely be doing a lot of this streaming over the same time. Hopefully 11:30-ish U.S. Eastern Time. Getting started between 11:30 and 12. And trying to go till about 1:30. Like, I'd like to do about 2 hours a day. And if I don't have meetings, I'll just keep going and I can just keep streaming. But it depends on what it is. Ram, forgot to join today. Busy with sprint planning. I'm offended. Okay? I mean, if I'm not your number one priority in life, so I'll say this. I'll just say this, just in case. And I'm glad you're busy with sprint planning. Like, this is work. We got to get our jobs done. But you can follow me at Twitter. Shwami is my Twitter handle, right? And you can you can follow me or subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Twitch and get notifications when I go live. But that stuff's kind of a pain in the neck, I know, right? Life is what happens when you're busy planning. Yeah, life is hard, right? Work is hard. Trying to have a little fun out here on the stream, write some code. Thank you guys for and by the way, I always feel like I want to be politically correct. When I say guys, I mean guys like men and women are guys nowadays, right? If in case women are watching, I'm not excluding anybody, but I appreciate you guys helping me out with the with some suggestions and with some ideas and showing me where I had some typos and that kind of stuff. And I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm going to do this again on Monday. I might jump on and do some work. No, I will not be doing any work over the weekend. It's Mother's Day on Sunday. There's other stuff going on. I don't think it's going to happen. So Monday, this code should look exactly like it did today, and we'll dig into more aspects of this application. There's great stuff coming up. The Blazor stuff is the front end. There's server-side APIs, web API, architecture. I'm going to be building this application the way I build all applications, like work, real applications. And so I follow some best practices for architecture, and I'll be showing that kind of stuff. I'll be doing unit testing of the code. I'll be doing authentication, which is one of the first things I want to get to also, because I've not done that on a Blazor app, using like OIDC, OpenID, those kind of things. And so if that kind of stuff is interesting to you, I hope you'll come back and hang out. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for a fun-filled afternoon or lunch break for me. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thanks so much.